Evening and welcome back to the Queensland Pickleball Championships 2023. This is Dylan Kimlin live from the Morayfield Sports and Events Centre. We are about to get underway with the 50 plus mixed 3.5 and above gold medal series of games. I'm sitting with a special guest, co-commentator here, none other than Kelly Daly from the PAQ committee herself. How are we doing, Kelly?
Well, we're nearly at the end of day 3,
Yep.
And I think so far it's been a massive success. So, we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Very tired, but very good.
Yeah, and honestly, I've been saying that throughout the broadcast. A lot of people don't recognise the sheer effort that our tournament staff put in, and you guys have done incredible. Do you want to give a general idea, like what time do tournament staff usually get to an event?
Well, we've been coming in between 6 and 6:30 each morning, and last night we were out at 10.
There you go.
We managed to get our last matches all done, and we had to be out of the venue at 10, and I think we were out of the venue at 10:03 p.m.
Picture perfect in the end, yeah. No, you've all done such a phenomenal job, and as this is the largest tournament in the Southern Hemisphere, I can honestly say this has been such a smooth experience for everyone involved, so well done. What we've got in front of us is our official Margot. No, that camera doesn't really catch it. You can see it there on the left of screen. Our official Margot is having a yarn with our players for this game. We've got none other than Ray Ware. Somehow always ends up on my broadcast. I don't know how. I'm going to start calling him the magnet because he's just always here.
He loves the middle match, this guy, doesn't he?
He's just the centre of attention. He can't help himself. And then he's playing with Anna-Lise Bolton, absolute superstar from the Gold Coast region. Has been in many tournaments.
Also loves the middle match.
Correct, yep. Mm-hmm. They are up against the duo that we just showed in the semi-finals with Liane, Griffin and Jason Kerr. These two have been playing together for quite some time. Experienced partnership, and I imagine they will perform well as well.
Total Queensland final too.
It is, yeah, total Queensland. And I'm thinking these guys have all played each other a fair bit, so they know what strategies will work and strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. While they're warming up, and we'll quickly change our view there so we can see a bit of dinking rally going on as we've got Jenny Ware ironically coming behind us to grab a ball from her court. That's Ray's partner. Do you want to give us some? I'm obviously a commentator. I do like some statistics and analytics. Mm-hmm. We've got some cool analytics here from the actual tournament itself. So give us some stats. How are we going with the Queensland Pickleball Championships?
Well, we've had a massive weekend. So we've got day 3 today. We had singles Friday. We had our genders yesterday. Yep. We've got our mix today. Tomorrow we have our teams event. It actually is a total of 1,352 matches over the 4 days.
Oh, that's unreal. That's so cool.
I'm actually glad that we've got these stats at the end of the weekend because if I had them at the start, I'd probably be hyperventilating in the fetal position somewhere. Every time someone mentioned about having over 500 people registered, I had to take a couple of deep breaths.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot, but I can't. It's run so smoothly. It's been completely surprising. We've got a great organisation. We've had a great team. Michelle, Tony, Matt, Brendan, all helping out doing the organising. And the list of volunteers that have helped us run it smoothly has certainly been amazing. So we've handed out 388 medals.
That's cool.
If you can believe that.
Yep.
Custom medals this year too. So
they're so pretty.
Aren't they cool?
They're so cool, yeah.
Super cool. I haven't got one, but hopefully there's one spare that I can take home.
There you go, a little memento. If anyone's losing their medal, or if anyone has lost their medal, do not... No.
You know where it is.
Looks like our players are ready to get underway. We will get some more of those awesome stats as we go. That's so cool, though, that you... Especially over 1,000 matches. My goodness, how do you even... Anyway.
That's a lot of data entry.
Oh, yes, I can imagine. Carpal tunnel.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, as we can see, our official for this event is none other than Margot from the PAA referees board. She is given the okay and we can commence play. Liane Griffin will bring the ball in 0-0-2 as we get started with our gold medal game 1. Jason Kerr immediately attacking. First points go to the duo of Griffin and Kerr. And So regarding the setting up of the event, so our silver sponsor for this event is none other than New Play, and they've done a tremendous job. I've been crediting them throughout the entire broadcast as we see Jason going berserk. Ray Ware getting an opportunity, just missing it there. Great pressure there by Kerr. So setting up all of the nets, absolutely phenomenal. New Play team have done a great job. But let's talk about the volunteers setting up all of the tape. So
Yes, so actually I've got some stats on the tape as
there
well.
we go, yep.
Over 14,000 metres of tape have been used over the weekend.
Goodness,
We have 22 courts in play, which of course helps us get through the sessions. I think also what helps is that we have 3 sessions per day. So we have a 8 a.m, a 12:30 and a 4:30.
Yep.
So being able to break up the divisions throughout the day in 3 sessions is just the only way that I think we can get through something like this.
Yep.
Of course, I've got some more stats here for you, Dylan. We can't have 388 medals without about 986 coffees
Yep,
throughout
fair
the volunteer
enough.
team. I think I just see another one, so it's 987.
There we go, yep. And I imagine as we are going to get through to our final matches throughout the evening, that number will definitely, we're definitely going to get 1,000 by tomorrow. I think that's
easy, and I think we might start counting beers soon.
We are towards the end of the evening. And we've got Bolton here to serve, so we've had a side out during that passage of play. So the score currently, I believe, is 0-2-1. Margot's just ensuring order on the court. And our officials, so we've had, I reckon our referees have done such a great job. We've had so many people come and get on board with the officialing side of things.
It's so exciting because we've had, I think it was about 16 officials available this weekend,
great.
which is, I think, the most ever.
Yep.
More and more people are showing interest in it.
Yep.
More and more people are getting on board,
Yep.
getting certified. I, for one, love reffing.
Yep.
I also love telling people what to do, so it goes hand in hand.
Fair enough, yeah. And as always, if you are watching and you have thought about maybe getting involved, is that Liane with the foot fault? So it's tied game 2-2. If you are interested in getting into a referee's course certificate, none other than the lady who's left on screen there in the white shirt, Margot, she does all the teaching with a gentleman by the name of David J. They run many sessions, and we have a certificate course coming up at the Yeppoon Pickleball Festival. Liane on the attack, wonderful strike of the ball. You've obviously done many, you've been a referee for many games. Give the viewers at home, what does a traditional referee look for?
I think you are looking to manage the game.
Yeah.
So like
just short.
a weekend like this, you've got a range of players from your advanced to your very new who've never played in a tournament before. So the type of reffing that you do for an advanced game might be a little different to the type of reffing you do for your 2.5 and unders.
Yep, okay.
So I think just being able to recognise what type of level you're reffing. You don't want to ever hinder a game. You're there to assist, manage, and keep it running smoothly.
Yep, that's fair enough. And I'm actually just listening for our current official to call the score. So it's actually 4-2-2. I do apologise, viewers at home. We had the wrong score up. But our and when you're covering those games, are you looking for just traditionally calling the scores and doing kitchen faults, or is there anything in particular that you when the games you cover? Great shot there by Kerr. Typically, what are you looking at?
I'm looking for servers in the right position.
Yep.
I'm looking for foot faults. I'm looking to call the score correctly.
Yep.
I'm looking for paddles touching the ground in the kitchen.
Yep.
Anything that, I'm looking for the rules basically.
Yeah, that's understandable. And you typically don't do line calls though, unless typically challenged by the players.
Exactly right.
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
If I see it and I'm asked, then my decision is final.
Yep.
But if I haven't seen it,
yeah, it is
I
what it
spend
is.
a lot of time looking at foot faults. I
Yeah.
love calling a foot fault, Dylan.
You're one of those referees.
Yeah.
Yep.
I call it loud and I call it proud.
Yeah. And so regarding the, you mentioned earlier the correct server, position, etc. Now, a lot of our viewers might not have ever played with an official, and it can be quite intimidating if it is your first game. Like, oh, I don't know who this person is. What are they doing? Players are more than welcome to ask you, hey, like,
That's
am I
right.
the correct server? Yeah.
And that's a new rule that has come in. You can ask the ref if you're in the right position. I had my first ever service fault yesterday where I had to call a player. They were in the wrong position when they served.
Yep.
I do try and give a hint at the start where I'll say just, the score is 6-3-2. I don't like to do it, but it is the rules.
Oh, it's the rules. Yep.
And I'm a stickler for the rules. That's why I like reffing.
Yep. No, I mean, you've got to have order on the court, especially at a state level championship. You need to, as we have a good approach here by Anna-Lise. Oh, what a roll. Fantastic. Strike of the ball, Anna-Lise Bolton. Now, I believe it's going to be 4-5. Just get a confirmation from our official Margot. Ah, there we go. I don't know what she just said, but ironically, we've just had Ray Ware and Anna-Lise Bolton ask if they were serving on the correct side. So
it's so you lose contact of the game. You lose where you're standing. You lose what the score is. Especially at the end of a long weekend where you've been playing 1,352 matches.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, to be exact.
I mean, I don't think Ray Ware's played that much, but
no, he's played a lot.
He'd be up there. He'd be up there.
Oh, it's 5-5. Good thing I was paying attention to our official Margot, but the unlucky on the approach by Kerr. But I guess the cool thing with what you're talking about, fatigue. Obviously, players get tired, but tournament staff, tournament officials get tired, especially like you mentioned data entry earlier. You guys are doing an unreal amount of scores. I have a question. So, if there's a viewer at home that has never played in a tournament, who delivers the scores after a game? Because a lot of our players wouldn't even know they have to fill in a score sheet.
That's right. So and I think our TD, Matt, has been very good in his player briefings, explaining that it's typically the winner who brings up the score. They're generally the people who do it the fastest because they are the happiest.
Yeah.
So it's the winner. You fill in the score sheet, you get it signed by each of the team, and you bring it up to the tournament desk and pop it in the basket.
Yeah, beautiful. And you mentioned TD, that's obviously tournament director for those that are tuning in. I believe it's still 5-5-2, Bolton to serve. Yep, so second server. Let's have a look here. Kerr on the attack, side out. And this has been very thematic with all of our gold medal games that I've covered thus far. We've had no blowouts. Everything's been a really close. And I'll be honest, Kelly, that's actually the main feedback I've received from a lot of the players is that all of the pools are tough. Everyone has been playing really, really well. And as a tournament organiser, you've got to love that. Everyone's having a great experience.
So good. We've had players from, of course, Queensland. We've had
great shot there by Kerr.
All over Australia. We've had New Zealand players.
Yeah.
The level has just been
unreal.
Absolutely incredible. It just gets stronger and stronger. Yeah,
and you're right. I think I was having a good yarn with a bunch of the Kiwis earlier today, and I'm assuming by your accent you might be coming from that neck of the woods yourself.
That's exactly right.
You've got to be really happy to see a bunch of the New Zealand cohort come across. And
so good. It's the first time that I remember having such a strong presence of Kiwis come over for a pickleball tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome.
They've come over and played socially. In Currumbin, I've played with Kiwis before, and I always, when I go back to New Zealand and visit the family, I sure take my paddle and play where I can. I'm heading back there next week, so
there you go.
If any Kiwis are listening, I'll be looking for games in Auckland and Hamilton.
And hopefully, I imagine it's somehow colder than where we are right now.
Apparently it's awful. So.
Yeah, it's for those that aren't in Brisbane right now, we are at the Morayfield Sports and Events Centre, and it is majority of the cold weather outside has been kept at bay, but it is relatively chilly inside. I don't think it's terrible.
It has been famously called, this is the warm side we're in.
Yeah, correct.
And the other side is the cold side.
The other side is very cold, I do agree. We do have, must be air conditioning or heating or something in here, but...
Maybe the players are working harder on this
side.
Yeah,
could be. Or just my hot head warming up the cords. So.
Well, we thank you for that.
Yeah.
We might have to move you to the other side tomorrow.
But so we've got Bolton on the approach, all unlucky. Side out. I actually think, just for a bit of trivia for you, I do believe Anna-Lise and Liane also used to be partners on the courts too. So these players are well and truly accustomed to how each other plays. Kerr on the attack again. Ray Ware just striking that out.
Anna-Lise and Ray have played together
For quite a long time.
Yeah. It's like Jason and Liane. So.
Yep. Yeah, well over a year each. We've got a timeout here on the side of Bolton and Ware. While they're having a breather, we've got to go to a quick commercial from our gold sponsor, Moreton Bay Regional Council. As someone that runs the Morayfield Pickleball Club, I'm very grateful to hear that our local council's gotten involved. And we appreciate them very much.
As the creek whispered a quiet truth, the trees leaned in to reflect. That's deliciously Moreton.
And the players are recommencing the court. However, Margot's still standing in the middle of it, so we can't get started. So, let's talk about timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it the players get 2 minutes?
They get 1 minute timeout.
Yep.
And they can call 2 timeouts.
2
per
timeouts,
game.
so 2 minutes total, yep. And they get a medical timeout as well?
They do, which is for 15 minutes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we did see a couple of medical timeouts throughout the event thus far. Actually, in regards to injuries, have we had many across?
We've had a torn calf muscle.
Oh,
We've
right.
had a torn rotator cuff.
Oh, wow, okay. As someone with a buggered rotator cuff myself, I feel sorry for whoever that is.
Yep, they unfortunately had to pull out today.
Yep.
We've had lots of cramps, I believe.
Yep.
We have had
All
nothing
10-6.
serious.
Game point, by the way, 10-6. Kerr to serve. We have another timeout here from Anna-Lise Bolton and Ray Ware. Just trying to kill some of that momentum. So, yeah, a couple of injuries. I did notice that you had an amazing first aid team running around confirming
They have been so good.
everyone's okay. And also the crowds. Like this game right now, you can't really see on that camera view we've currently got, but we do have a bunch of people watching late into the afternoon. Obviously, Sunday afternoon, I know I would be warming up a roast dinner if it was me, but I mean, what better way to spend your afternoon than watching live pickleball?
I mean, you could do both.
You could do both. And probably, this is exactly, if you are doing that, please let us know in the comments section.
Actually don't, because I'll be jealous.
Yeah, I will be jealous, yeah. But no, it's been fantastic, and I think we've had a lot of viewers that don't even play the sport to just come and watch. They're like, what is this awesome sport? I want to learn about it. I've just had people walking past like, oh, hey, what's this called? I'm like, oh, it's pickleball. Yeah, it's awesome. But then they realise I'm actually talking into a microphone and they're like, oh, sorry, I don't want to interrupt. So, all right, players recommenced. Game point here for game 1 of the gold medal. Kerr on the attack, puts it away. Well played. Jason Kerr, Liane, Griffin taking the first. And the players will have a quick break. And this here is also a 1 minute swap around when they swap to the other sides of the court.
That's correct. You actually have 2 minutes in
2
between.
minutes. Oh, there we go. Mm-hmm. So the players have a quick break and then we'll commence game 2. But, all right. Have we got any other quirky things to go over while you're...
I don't know if you noticed anybody wearing some amazing socks.
Oh, yeah, I
over
did.
The weekend.
Yeah.
So the player gift this year was the Queensland Pickleball socks.
Yep.
They had the Queensland logo on them and QPC 23 down the back. We had 560 pairs.
Yeah, lots of socks.
Lots of socks. They were a massive hit.
Yeah. Well, everyone needs socks.
Everybody needs Queensland Pickleball socks too, I think.
When I run my Morayfield sessions, there's only one gentleman that doesn't like wearing shoes, and that's because he's a martial artist, so he runs around barefoot all the time. But the socks are such a great idea. And speaking of clothing, we do have to give a big shout out to our bronze sponsor, Sports Magic. They have done such a great job with their stall at the front. I've seen a bunch of people wearing the awesome clothing.
An amazing company to deal with.
They're so comfy
great.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have they... I know they were at QPT Mooloolaba. Do you know if they'll be more involved in the other QPT events as we
They
start
are
game
going
2?
to be at every QPT. So they're going to Yeppoon, they're going to QPT Gold Coast, and they're going to be at QPT Brisbane.
Brisbane, beautiful.
So they've been at Mooloolaba as well.
Yep.
And they sent up some shirts for QPT Townsville.
Yep.
Massive. Fabian and the team there at Sports Magic have been massive supporters of Queensland Pickleball, and especially the QPT tour.
Yep.
Fantastic.
That's great to hear, and that's a really good lead-in. So let's talk about the Queensland Pickleball Tour. So you've obviously been heavily involved in that.
Yes.
Our next event will be QPT Yeppoon, which I will be broadcasting. We've got the Pickleball Seniors event, and then the weekend after that we have the QPT Yeppoon. Both events will be played at their amazing facility. Are you going to Yeppoon?
I am not. I will be in New Zealand.
Okay.
I went to Yeppoon last year.
Yep.
And had probably one of the best weekends of my life.
Oh yeah, true.
The people were amazing. The courts are beautiful.
Yep.
I mean, it's hard not to have a good time in Yeppoon. Have you seen it? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks so good, and obviously the Yeppoon Pickleball Club have been working their tails off to get such a wonderful venue underway. I was having a good yarn with John and Karen Latinovic just before this game, and they were showing me all the cool photos and how it's all being presented.
So good on their Facebook page.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And but they did say that the Yeppoon Pickleball Festival registration closes today.
Yes.
So if you are interested, would recommend having a look. So we've got Kerr with ball in hand. Just get a score from Margot. I believe it's 1-1-2. Kerr on the attack, Bolton putting it away.
All right.
Just short in the end. And the QPT, do you want to give us some stats on that? I imagine that's been a big hit.
It has been a big hit. So it's year 2 of the QPT.
Yep.
Last one was in Townsville, QPT Townsville.
Yep.
A great weekend up there. Beautiful weather.
So we can Axel.
Of course, we kicked it off in Mooloolaba,
Yep.
where the weather wasn't so kind.
Yeah, we had a bunch of rain, yep.
Bunch of rain. Tell you what, rain and pickleball.
They call it Sunshine Coast. I don't know where that sunshine was, but anyway.
Luckily, day 2 we had an inside venue,
Yeah.
so that certainly helped us. But yeah, super hard to run a tournament outside when it rains.
Yeah.
Actually really inconvenient.
Yeah.
If Mother Nature could not do that, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, and then we've got the QPT Gold Coast in September, and then QPT Brisbane in October, which has been held in Redcliffe this year.
Yeah, I'm so keen. As once again mentioning our gold sponsor, the Moreton Bay Regional Council, but we will be having our final QPT event at Redcliffe, and that Chris and the team there have done a phenomenal job building up the pickleball scene in Redcliffe, and I'm so proud as a club sort of along like next to them. It's really cool to see what the local scene is sort of flourishing, and this is their first big pickleball tournament, so good on them.
It's so good. If your clubs near you are growing, it just means that your club has that opportunity to grow too.
Well, it's just it's like we're all a big family at the end of the day. We want
100%.
everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
Curtis,
There's enough pickleball for everyone.
Yeah, correct. This has been a bit of a stalemate thus far. Neither team really getting a large lead. Now there's a error on the drive. Griffin to serve. I believe it's 2-3-2, but we'll have to find out as we get underway. Great shot there by Bolton.
Nice shot there, Anna-Lise.
And I know last year we had our big PAQ dinner. Do you reckon you're going to be doing an awards and events night? Or is that something the committee's got to discuss?
Oh, look, I think it's definitely on the cards. We do have our QPT final for some date in November.
Yep.
And we'd love to do that again.
Yep. Footfold here on the side of Griffin. Yep, cool. So we'll be doing a final QPT as well.
Yep,
Have you got a
absolutely.
location in mind for that, or still figuring it out?
Still figuring out. We'll get through this weekend, and then I reckon we'll jump on it.
And I think that's fair enough. This is probably the priority at the moment. 3-3-1, Bolton to serve. Oh, just gone long. Second serve, Ray Ware with ball in hand. Barry's just standing in the way on the side there. Oh, net roll, ball's still good. Oh, Ware unable to get it across. Second server. It's been crazy how many tournaments have just popped up in the last... Like, I reckon there's a tournament every second weekend at the moment. It's
I remember
nuts.
they used to be so far and few between,
yeah.
and now everybody's got options, which, I mean, when you've got 500 odd people turning up for your Queensland Open, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's so exciting for the sport.
Well, the sport's just getting bigger and bigger, isn't it? I think it's only a matter of time before, like I was saying this earlier to someone, that I thought 500 is obviously a milestone, but I envision it'll become the norm soon, which is terrifying. Like, I know from a tournament director point of view, you must be like, oh my goodness, no. But, yeah, there's just so many people getting involved in our wonderful sport. We saw in our open event earlier today, Saunders was playing with Wes Vine. She's obviously from Adelaide. Like, the South Australian scene's picking up our interstate friends. We've got the Australian Pickleball Championships in Sydney as well.
Yes.
So, you know, it's not just Queensland that's doing well, it's everywhere. And it's just so good to see.
So exciting.
Second server. Oh, no. 4-4-1. Ray Ware with ball in hand. Bolton to bring it in. Griffin, I think she thought Kerr was going to wallop that. And Ware and Bolton take the lead. 5-4-1. Just short. So, besides the QPT events, we've already talked about the this event, obviously. But are there any other big things on the agenda that the general public should know about? Any other big events? Or
I think this is probably one of the biggest.
Yep.
And the QPT. Plus, there's all the club tournaments coming up as well.
Yep. Oh, down the line, great shot, Jason Kerr. Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, I think, you know, the state body's obviously been wonderful with the Queensland Championships and QPT. Like, you guys are really setting the gold standard for the rest of the country. And considering we've already got the largest tournament in the Southern Hemisphere, it's crazy to think how you can improve from that. Like, it's just...
I'm so excited to see how many players we get for the APC.
Yep.
I mean, last year we had over 400.
Yep.
And that was at the time the biggest competition that, you know, had been had in Australia.
We have a serving fault here on the side of Liane Griffin. Kerr to bring it in. So I believe, I'm not entirely sure what Liane did just then, but
could have had her foot over the line,
maybe? Yeah, it's what it looked like. Kerr with the smash,
finished
well placed.
By Jason. Yeah, so over 500 for this tournament. What does that mean for APC?
Yeah, well, it's exciting, and it's just down around the corner. We've got a timeout here. Our players will quickly have a breather and get underway. Another sponsor that we really have to thank is none other than Mismo. They did their raffle earlier today, hey?
They sure did.
They did,
yes.
Yeah. But they've got some incredible skincare and body care products, magnesium and MSM.
We've got a great magnesium roll. I use it all the time.
Yeah, I know. Same. Yeah, especially for the recovery side of things. So, looks like Bolton and Ware are just having a yarn about what needs to be done. But by no doubt at the end of this event, we're going to have some tired legs, and that's where the Mismo products are so important.
Absolutely.
I was having a chat to none other than Brett Blackmore, who helps run Mismo, and he was telling me that their cafe in the Sunshine Coast region has, really kicked off. They're doing really well down there. So nothing better than getting some awesome skincare products and having a quality coffee at the same time.
Oh, amazing. Sounds perfect.
Yep. Kerr to serve. Bringing it in. Have you, with the games you've covered this tournament, have you had any really quirky rules come out?
No, I haven't. I have, the only thing I've called my first service fault. Someone's foot was over the line.
Yep.
And I called a player in the wrong position, which is the first time I've ever had to call that as well.
Yep. Yeah, I was covering a game earlier today where I spoke to the official afterwards, and I was like, "Yeah, you were right. It's okay." Because he was like, "I think I was right." I was like, "Yeah." So what had occurred was a player had a kitchen fault, but he wasn't the player touching the ball. Pop up here, Ware has sped it up, so straight into a dink rally. I'll continue that train of thought afterwards because this is really good. Ladies of the cross dink rally underway. Kerr to finish it off. Well played. Yeah. So what had occurred was a player had struck the ball. He wasn't in the kitchen, but his partner was, and his partner was touching him. So my understanding is that is a kitchen fault.
Yeah, of course.
So the ref called it, and I was like, yeah, that's right. And the players were like, what? Why am I in trouble for what my partner did? So unfortunate, but
guilty by association.
yeah, literally. So, but pickleball always interesting, everyone. And I'll be honest with you, covering the teams event tomorrow, I need to look into the rules of rally scoring.
Yes, that's my homework tonight.
Oh my goodness. So
I understand rally scoring when I'm playing. I don't know if it's going to be a different story if I'm
when you're covering it.
Yeah, but it's I'm really looking forward to the team's event. Something that we haven't done before. Should be a fun day.
Yeah, so it's good speed up there by Ware. So it's 2 teams of 8. Not 2 teams. We have teams of 8 playing. Mm-hmm. They're playing to 21. Mm-hmm. And obviously rally scoring, if you're unaware, means you score whenever. It doesn't matter if you're scoring or not. Serving or not, sorry.
Yeah.
And then I was speaking to one of our officials, Mark, earlier today. He gave me a bit of a rundown. He did explain that when you get to 20, you then have to win.
Yes, you have to just
You have to be serving to score that final point.
That's
so it's
correct.
almost puts the pressure on. Mm-hmm. So I can already tell tomorrow I'm going to be full of blunders, learning the rules on the fly. But I like it. I think it's a good mix it up,
Yeah. It's something fresh. It's something new.
Yeah, and
it's great.
and what better way to close out the event with something a bit quirky?
Yes, yeah. Chance for a group of 8 people to get together and
Yeah, exactly. Real social side of it. So Kerr with the speed up. He has a lot of that. A lot of success with that forehand roll down the middle. Mm-hmm. If you are just tuning in, this is game 2 of the gold medal. The duo of Kerr and Griffin took the first one. Here we go. We're talking about recipients and server positions. So Margot giving a very big hint to Ray Ware there. And he did ask the question, which means Margot has to confirm it or deny it.
yes.
Turns out Ware and Bolton were in the wrong recipient positions. So what had Margot called the score and Kerr served, and Ware was to receive the ball, they would lose a point.
That's correct. Yeah. Liane and Jason would get a point.
Yep.
It's I like Margot does. I also like to give a bit of a hint. Just confirming the scorers.
Yeah.
It's a way to learn.
It looks like we have a timeout here on the side of Bolton and Ware. We're going to go to a quick commercial from our silver sponsor, Mismo. Once again, thank you so much to them.
Sunday morning rain is falling. Dress and cover share some skin. Clouds are shrouding us in moments unforgettable. You twist to fit the mold that I am in.
And we are back underway, and that looks like all over Red Rover. With Kerr and Griffin taking it. Yep. So the gold medal will go to Kerr and Griffin. Really well played across the board. Got to give credit to Bolton and Ware. They did well. They take home the silver. They'll be very pleased with that effort. Kelly, I'd like to thank you very much for jumping on and having a chat with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, and honestly, like I said at the start, thank you so much from a tournament point of view. You guys and the volunteers we've got have just... It's a phenomenal effort for such a large event to be run so smoothly. You've got to really pat yourselves on the back, so well done.
Thank you very much. We've got an absolute amazing team of people behind the scenes, volunteers. It's just been a dream.
Yeah, no.
Lots of fun.
And we will leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will, I imagine, have some more games underway. That's the gold wrapped up. But as always, this is Dylan Kimlin. You can catch this footage live on the Pickleball Queensland Facebook page or on the Pickleball Australia YouTube channel. We will be back on soon. Thank you for tuning in.